All right, good day, everybody. This is E. Marcel Platoon. Welcome to another edition of Fighting Peaches. On this edition of the show, we're going to be speaking with Georgia State women's soccer head coach Ed Joyce. Before we get to that, as always, to follow everything that we do, head to the mothership to sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also head to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up under Etienne Marcel Platoon or the Sports Inquirer. And finally, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, which include SoundCloud, uh, Spotify, and YouTube. Just make sure you go on there, look us up under my names and under our the Sports Inquirer, and you should be able to find us and share and enjoy the content that we have. In a few moments, we're going to have Georgia State women's soccer head coach Ed Joyce join us for this latest edition of the show. Okay, we're back with this latest edition of Fighting Peaches, and we're happy to be joined by Georgia State women's soccer head coach Ed Joyce. Ed, thank you for joining us on this edition of the show. The team is coming off of its biggest win to date over Louisiana Monroe 4-0 a few days ago. What were just some highlights of that contest, and what was it that looks like you put together your best complete performance of the year?
Yeah, I think it's been coming. Obviously, we played really well against Old Dominion and had a bit of an unfortunate ending to that game, which I won't speak about. But to put it all together against ULM, who are a good team, was really pleasing. Obviously, getting Bree Barley back to full fitness, or as close as we're probably going to get her for the end of the season, is important for us. But yeah, everybody played well. Didn't really give up many opportunities. And created some good opportunities to score as well. So I mean, we're pretty thrilled with that, and hopefully it carries us into Thursday.
Yeah, you mentioned Bree got a hat trick in the contest. How big was that? Obviously, you said she's been struggling just physically to find that form. How big was that for you to have her back on the field, and what does that hold for you as you finish up the regular season portion of your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully a lot more goals. She's obviously got the ability to. I think she's been limited throughout the year. She's kind of toughed through some injuries here and there, and kind of just given us everything she has. But I think she's finally starting to feel a lot better in herself, and hopefully that breeds more confidence, and if she can replicate what happened, last week.
Yeah, and then Sunniyah is another player, a freshman coming into the program. She scored the other goal in the contest. But what about her development? And she's also been a contributor on goals as well as an assist or just being part of that offensive play that led to goals. What about her development as a freshman, just being involved in the offensive end?
Yeah, Sunniyah's great. Freshman years are, we always say they're up and down, and you want to try and ride the wave of the positive times, and then not let maybe the not quite so high performances hurt you. And she's done a good job of that. She's been moved around a little bit positionally to kind of help us due to some of the injury issues we've had. But every time she has been put into a position, she's really done well, and we actually anticipate her finishing the season in a pretty strong fashion, and look forward to the future with her.
Yeah, and then defensively, I think the other thing that stood out from the Monroe contest was the shutout. So defensively, team has struggles. I think lead the conference in shots allowed. But what was about the Monroe contest defensively that Georgia State was able to do strong to be solid on that end of the field?
Yeah, and it's been an odd season with that. I mean, last season we go from 12 goals conceded the whole year and 9 shutouts to this season. So, identity is important, and I think we lost some big pieces last year, and with the injuries we've had, obviously we've got some young kids figuring it out as they go. But I think we talk about defending as a group of 11 players, on the pitch at one time, and I think that was the best way to describe what happened last Friday. Was 11 players committing to doing everything for each other defensively and committing to the game plan. So we've never thought we're a bad defensive team. I think it's just a team that's been through ups and downs with confidence, and hopefully we're getting confident at the right time.
Yeah, before we get to Georgia Southern, which is coming up in the next few days, Callee also she set a Bree had the 3 goals that would tie the program record, but Callee also, since we've last spoken, has set the record for most appearances in a career for a Georgia State player. What about her just consistency and being able to reach that milestone for the program?
She's super resilient. She's super tough. She doesn't really ask any questions. She just does as she's told. So we've played her probably 5 or 6 positions in her career, and she just does what she does in every single aspect. So, we like to say she epitomizes what we want a player here to be, which is, open to coaching, hardworking, fit, and resilient. She's a great testament to that. You don't play that many games at any level without doing things the right way, and I think that's probably the best thing I would say about Callie is she does everything the right way and as best she can.
Yeah, and players like Callie and Bree who are seniors, and I hesitate to say their final home matches with the red shirts and the way the things are going, but they are seniors, and you are playing your final home match coming up against Georgia Southern. How do you handle that as a team, especially for maybe some of the players, the ones who know that this is maybe their last time playing on the home turf? How do you handle that as a team before, as far as the off the field stuff, or maybe preparations, and then we'll get specifics with Georgia Southern?
No, I think it's difficult, but we have to kind of forget that, because we're in a position now where we probably need to win, you know, 3 games here to finish the season off to get ourselves in position for the conference tournament. So I mean, we kind of have to look past the emotional side of it and just treat it as a big game, which it is. We talked about every game here on out. It's been a cup final since ODU, and we felt we could win all 5 of them. We felt we did enough against Old Dominion. We obviously did enough against ULM, and now we've got 3 individual kind of cup finals. So we're going to look past the occasion, hopefully, and just look past at what happens in front of us, which is, a team that's going to come in here in the same position as us. They need to win. We need to win, and we feel like we've been unlucky this year a lot of times, and we feel like we've been playing a lot of young players who've made mistakes potentially across the board, whether they be young or old, in places that we've learned from, and we feel we're a much better team than our record suggests, and we feel like these last 3 games are, like I said, the cup final mentality is what we're aiming for. So as much as we appreciate what the seniors have done for us over their time, it is a team game, and we've got to look at the 15 to 17 players as a whole, and every player on the bench as well having an experience on Thursday and winning the game together, as opposed to just the individual occasion for those players.
Yeah, and then what about Georgia Southern itself? He's mentioned kind of similar statistically as well. I think they allow allow fewer goals, but still even matchup overall. Just what do you see from them, and what will you have to execute well to come out with that crucial victory that you're looking for?
Well, I think there's different ways to play the game, and I think theirs is very effective. They're physical, they're transitional, they're athletic, they're really good on corners and set pieces, and in transition moments, they've got some players that can hurt you. So, the way they play is difficult to play against, and a testament to what Chris has done over the time that he's been down there. So, I mean, for us, it's about us having mentality to do what we want to do and dictate the game from our standpoint. But it's difficult because every game is tough in our league, and we have to make sure we come with a mentality to compete, through the tough parts of the game, so we can, earn the right to play when in the moments we have the ball. So, I think the biggest thing is obviously control the amount of set pieces we give away, control the tempo of the game, and quite frankly, we need to be as clinical as we have been, in the past couple of games. We create an opportunity, we've got to take it, and I think that's probably been a criticism we've had of the group up until the last few games, is we've created really good opportunities and haven't taken them. So, we need to continue the trend of being a bit more stingy in the back and creating and taking more opportunities in the final third for us.
And we'll end on this. As odd as it sounds, is it easier in a way being in this scenario where you're not scoreboard watching, you're not even looking at the standings? You have to pretty much win out to get into the postseason. Does that just make it easier as a team just to focus on results, getting victories, and not being concerned about what the teams around you are doing?
I think so. I mean, this is probably the most. I mean, James Madison, I think, have been the best team in the league for me. But I think you look at every other team, on both sides of the league, they've dropped games that have been surprising. They've got draws that have been surprising. So, for us, it's probably a bit of a shame. This has been our most inconsistent season in the past 7 or 8, because the league is probably wide open. So, for us, to your question, I think we're in a good place where we know what we have to do to give ourselves an opportunity. And I think at that point in time, like you said, it's you try and say it's about us and it's about nobody else. And if we can continue that mentality, obviously we hope that can carry us through, and we believe it can. So, I would think so. We need to do what we need to do. And end of the day, we win 3 games and it's not enough. We've got plenty of reasons and situations to look at and say as to why we didn't get where we need to be.
Well, Ed, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll be keeping track of the season as it heads toward its conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and that was Georgia State women's soccer head coach Ed Joyce as the team gets ready to face Georgia Southern on October 24th. And as he said, they have to win out to put themselves in contention for the conference tournament. So we'll be keeping track of everything going on with the Panthers. As always, to follow everything that we do, you can go to the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up under Etienne Marceau Pursuit or the Sports Inquirer. And finally, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our audio and video hosts, including YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. And until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.